want to be able to do just 30 days of art. Like if I said 30 days of like drawing, I probably would get bored and not complete it. You know, so I can touch different stuff and like still feel like I'm being creative. Hopefully that's the goal. So I made my little 30-day art challenge and I kind of just broke it down just to help me. I don't have to follow it in this order, and I broke it down into days of 5. Day 1 to 5, learn the basics yet again. This one will probably be easy because I'm always doing that. For days 6 to 10, begin sketching and practicing line weights and styles. On day 11 to 15, I'm continuing to do sketchings, but I can start incorporating colors if I want to, and then full bodies if I want to. Because we're kind of hitting the halfway by here, I can start changing mediums if I haven't already. So if I focus on my sketchbook this whole entire time, either in this section or kind of moving on, like switch to digital, so use the iPad, or painting, use the canvases and things like that. Day 16 to 20, begin doing backgrounds, practice perspectives. So here we're kind of going back to like the basics in a way. Yeah, backgrounds is not really something I don't think I've ever really practiced, so this is really going to be the only thing that would be new to me. Day 21 to 25, begin designing my OCs. We're wrapping up the challenge. We got like 10 days left. Day 26 to 30, finish any artworks that I have. So have my OCs, have backgrounds, and any paintings done. I kind of want to finish anything. Yeah, let's get started. You may be wondering, Jen, I thought you just said you were going to do the basics and this and that and...
Whatever, I do what I want.
I thought, hey, let me be ambitious and do a full piece. And I immediately regretted it. Wait, no, that's a lie. I did enjoy it in the sketch phase or planning out my vision, but once I got in the line art and coloring, that's when I regretted it. Not only because I was doing this for like 3 days, but because I felt like it truly started to go bad once I started coloring and wrapping it up. But I came too far to stop, and so I just continued. So on this day, I finally went to do my plan of the basics, and this was just so much better. I actually enjoyed doing these, even if I wasn't paying attention that I was spending over an hour practicing. I think because they turned out good and not too far from the reference, that made me want to do more and more and more, because I felt like I was actually getting there. I was getting somewhere. I obviously had to erase a lot because I was trying for perfection here, which is a habit I should work on, especially when I'm learning. Because if I want everything to look perfect and it isn't, then that discouraged me, and I'm trying not to be discouraged. I've only drawn skulls one time before, but this time I was doing it in more detail, like more in a realistic way. I always heard before that to understand the face and placement, you need to understand the skull, so that's what I tried to do. The first one isn't so good and off looking, and I decided to try again with more of a tutorial instead of just looking straight off of a photo. What you'll notice going on is I tend to redraw steps instead of having the one and adding details as I go on. When I'm digital, I can just copy and paste, but physically I can't do that, and a part of me doesn't want to draw it each time, but I knew it was beneficial to practice that rhythm. I also combined steps together because sometimes not much was added for each step, so I wasn't going to waste my time. I loved my final image compared to my first attempt. I'm not gonna lie. I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm just doing it, but it looks good. I ended it off with some skull box studies that I've done before, and I like these skulls because they were simple and easy to draw. Overall, these don't seem like much, especially because it was only a few drawings, but I was doing this for an hour and a half, mainly because I was taking my time and trying for perfection, which I've already mentioned that I need to stop, so I don't be discouraged for not creating a good one-to-one. I moved on to what I've done a million times before, basic head shapes. I was confident with doing these because I've done it so much, so this time my focus was to just try out different angles. I'm always scared of drawing with different angles because I just know it won't look good because I struggle so hard. I was pleasantly pleased and just wanted to fill up my whole page. And once again, I spent over 2 hours doing these. I wasn't necessarily looking for perfection this time around. I just wanted to make sure it was done right, and I erased and tried again because I wanted to understand to get it close to the reference, because this is a skill I wanted to understand and master. Today I was going for something simpler. I never done box studies, and though I didn't do much, I decided to try some out. There's not much to say, it's okay. Throughout this video, you'll see my timestamps. I did this because it was great for me to see how long it took me to draw these images. What you'll also notice is that these timestamps may seem crazy. It didn't take me nearly an hour to do this, but I was extremely distracted watching TV while I drew. I have days where I drew in silence or with some music, but most days I was drawing while watching TV, which meant it took longer to draw certain images, which also meant I may not have drawn much because it took me 2 hours to draw a box or something. Now, I am extremely impressed with my next few days of work. I've done eyes, nose, and mouth studies before, so I wasn't necessarily scared to do these, but I wasn't hopeful that these would turn out good because they were more realistic. Despite me being digital, I did redraw the steps just because it was simple and didn't take much time, and again, it helps me with the repetition. I loved these, and for me, it wasn't all that difficult to do or scary to tackle. I grew an appreciation for drawing with just blacks and grays, shading, and making it look 3D as it is in the reference. I loved my attempt with the eyes on day 6, that I did eyes the next 3 days and tried to recreate that feeling with noses, which was okay on day 10, and doing one mouth practice on day 13, which turned out really good. Again, with these, I repeated the steps, which helped. During this time, you can see I didn't do much in one day compared to the previous because I was studying and doing other stuff, so I accidentally missed day 11 and 12, which I didn't even realize. So already drawing for 30 days straight was a fail, which is fine because I'm still going to continue. Life happens. Today I wanted to do a redraw. I got a comment on my last video and I wanted to do a redraw of it, but it wasn't really working out and it turned out to be such a different character. I tried to do different head angles, but with actual facial features compared to day 4 and the question mark, because this doesn't look right. They didn't take long and it was simple to do, but it looked off. So I moved back to eyes, but tried for more cartoonish eyes, which just meh. It's not bad. It was late, so I only had time to do one eye, which is more realistic, which I think is starting to be my strong suit. On this day, I decided to try out some art styles that I love and wish to have my art style be in a similar way. I used the same head mold and tried out different styles that give off the same vibes that I like. It was interesting to see how different they look and the different techniques it takes to create these faces, such as line weight, nose shapes, etc. I love these so much. I tried to use what I learned and like to do my own version of these faces, and though it isn't all that good looking compared to the previous day faces I referenced, but I still like it. I tried to do a body and let's move on. Today I wanted to try and do my OCs and oh gosh. I realized when something doesn't make too much sense to me, when there's no steps, then my outcome looks off. Like I get it, but I don't get it. realism might be my thing, but I have no idea what went wrong here because I've drawn realism before without steps, but granted, they were years ago. And I also forgot to draw on day 23. On this day, I couldn't be bothered to draw. In the past, if I drew late, it was because I had other things to do and I wasn't going to push off my life stuff to draw. But by this day, I was just pushing drawing for many hours because I just didn't want to do it. I wasn't having fun. I was discouraged. There's times I've drawn and not completely loved it, but still finished it. But especially with the aerial piece, golly, I have no idea what happened here. And unfortunately, that's it. I just didn't have the energy and I didn't draw for 30 days straight or 30 days accumulated for days missed. Like, I didn't add them back like I was going to do. And that's fine. My own issue is, where do I go from here? My feeling with art hasn't changed as much. I've definitely explored and done drawings I wouldn't have prior, so I'm grateful for that. But I don't think much has changed on my feeling with my art and the kind of rut I've been feeling. There's been an improvement for sure, and I would definitely do challenges such as these again, but I think I have to find a good balance and probably stick to one thing and focus on learning and creating for like a week with just eyes. Going beyond just practicing, but using eyes as my subject and creating art pieces with them. I can practice it, but it's also creative. Maybe this is what I would try next time. Anyways, I want to say thank you guys for watching and enjoying this video. I'll try to be more active on this channel more, but if you want to hear my voice, then go to our commentary channel, Genstar. I'm more active on that channel for sure. Comment which piece and day did you like for me and any tips or tricks to help me improve. Like and subscribe. I'll just add this. When it comes to art, there are many ideas I want to do but never do because I claim my skills aren't good enough. Once my skills were better, I'll do more art. It may not look the same as you envision or from the reference, but a final thought I want to leave you all is you don't need skills to do art. Pick up a pencil and just start creating. In due time, your creations will turn into your masterpieces. I've been your host, Jen. This has been A Cup of Art. Stay hopeful. Peace. Mwah.